Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for all those in London that don't know what happens to the white man when he comes to a P. Diddy party, this is what happens to the white man.
It's so unfortunate.
You gotta pull back though, so they can see. That's crazy. Matt, move out the way. You're still alive. Look at that. Look. Would you
Get the drink on his head.
And that's James from Simeon Mobile Disco. He is a actual DJs aren't supposed to pass out, but when they come to one of my parties, this is what happens to him. I put him to sleep.
Next day, right?
Yeah, put the drink on his head.
There you go. There it is.
Damn.
Child, a lot of films showing individuals getting knocked unconscious at a Dottie party are going viral, and it doesn't look good, especially in light of what we've heard about the people who were run over and the girl who managed to escape suffering a terrible outcome thanks to Diddy and Kidada Jones.
Did Puffy see her about to drink out that bottle, yo? He wasn't trying to stop her? He was gonna let her drink out that bottle like that?
Yeah, no, he ain't stopping.
That's out of pocket, man. So he was really about to let her drink out that bottle and drink his urine. That's wild, man.
No, man. I guess he was. We was all guilty at that time, bro. No lie. We was all guilty at that. And Wolf was the only one that, like, I think Wolf knew her personally too. I didn't know who she was at first. And that don't excuse for not saying nothing.
Before we even dive into what Diddy allegedly did to Kidada, here's a quick update on his case. At the moment, Diddy has way more to worry about than just Kidada speaking out against him. A Texas-based attorney, Tony Busby, has announced he's representing over 100 accusers in a series of new lawsuits against Diddy. In a statement, Busby said, "We will expose the enablers who allowed this conduct behind closed doors. We will pursue this matter no matter who the evidence implicates. Many powerful people, many dirty secrets, it's a long list already, but because of the nature of this case, we are going to make damn sure we are right before we move forward. These names will shock you." The lawyer also revealed that over 3,000 individuals have come forward to his office with accusations against Diddy, and he plans to begin filing lawsuits across various states within the next 30 days. Busby mentioned that they will name the other defendants at a later date. Among this new group of accusers, 62% identify as African American, and they come from more than 25 states, with the majority hailing from New York, California, Georgia, and Florida. Shockingly, 25 of the accusers were not of age at the time of the alleged incidents, some going as far back as 1991. In one horrifying instance, an accuser was as young as 9 years old. Yes, you heard that right, -9 years old. A damn near baby. The lawyer claimed that most of the plaintiffs were allegedly assaulted after parties hosted by Diddy, which took place at well-known venues, private residences, and hotels. These parties were often tied to events like album releases, New Year's Eve celebrations, and even 4th of July gatherings, while some reportedly occurred during auditions. Busby gave a few shocking examples of these cases, including one of a man who was allegedly promised by Diddy that he would be made a star on the condition that he visited Diddy alone, without his parents. Once they were alone, Diddy reportedly asked him to perform a sexual act. The lawyer also mentioned the case of a 15-year-old girl who alleges she was flown to New York for one of Diddy's parties and was subsequently assaulted by him and others. Busby added that there was a clear pattern, with victims often being given spiked drinks before being taken advantage of. I mean, at this point, nothing about Diddy really shocks me anymore, but *** 120 new cases ***. His trial might turn into one of the biggest in history. It just seems to get worse every single day. Now, as for Kidada Jones, it's unclear if she's officially going to come forward, but her situation with Diddy allegedly had a lot to do with Tupac Shakur. We've even heard people like Gene Deal mention in the past that Diddy was obsessed with emulating Tupac's image. He reportedly did everything in his power to be like Pac, right down to the way he dressed and even the women he slept with. Gene Deal mentioned that Tupac was involved with Sarah Chapman before Diddy dated her, and allegedly the same happened with Sally Richardson Whitfield. There have also been reports that Diddy pursued Kidada Jones specifically because of her connection to Tupac.
But nobody know why Pac and Puff fell out like they did. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody know why. But Puff had an obsession with him for whatever reason it was, because he started wanting to act. He started wanting to rap. He had an obsession so bad that at his Grammy Award winning speech, he used the same speech that Pac used.
Speaking of Gene Deal, he's also the one who shared a shocking story about an encounter between Kidada and Diddy, where Diddy allegedly wanted Kidada to drink his urine. Gene recalled this incident from the late 90s, during the height of the East Coast-West Coast feud. He talked about witnessing events during this turbulent time, particularly an encounter involving Diddy, Kidada, Tupac, and Suge Knight. Gene first mentioned a time when he and Diddy ran into Tupac and Suge while driving. This was during the peak of the heated beef between Tupac and Biggie. According to Gene, when they drove up to where Tupac and Suge were, Diddy attempted to speak to Tupac, but Tupac completely ignored him. The tension between them was undeniable. Gene also revealed that Diddy had a chance to squash the beef between Biggie and Tupac, but he chose not to. He then recalled an incident at an award show where Diddy was hoping to win Producer of the Year. When someone else won the award instead, Diddy became furious, and in his anger, he decided to pee in a pitcher.
I don't think it was an incident, it was just a situation. We were at either How I Could Be Down or it was Jack the Rapper, one of them. And they was giving Producer of the Year. Puff didn't want to leave because he thought he was going to be the Producer of the Year. And he took one of the pictures, after we had drunk on one, he took one of the pictures, I think it was the picture of ginger ale or whatever like that, and he poured it in the water pitcher or something like that. And then he went up under the table and he urinated in the pitcher.
According to June's statement, Kidada Jones walked to the table where they were sitting and used the photo that Diddy had peed in to get a drink for herself. Diddy did not object to her at all. In fact, he was even willing to watch her consume the filthy beverage.
Quincy Jones' daughter, I think it's Kidada Jones or whatever like that, she came to the table. And she was just talking to Puff, everything like that. She was talking to Puff. And then next thing you know, she reached over to grab the pitcher and poured her a glass of ginger pee. You know what I mean? Like that. And she was about to drink it and Wolf stopped her from doing it. She said, "No, you don't want to drink that, you don't want to drink that," stuff like that. And stopped. She said, "Why?" Nobody said nothing, but he had pissed in the damn ginger ale or whatever like that in that same bottle, and she was about to drink.
According to rumors, Diddy was not having fun with Kidada because she was with Tupac, and he supposedly wanted both Kidada and Tupac.
Do you think Puffy knew she was dating Tupac? Because that sounds personal, man. It sounds like he was gonna let her drink his urine because he felt the type of way that she was with Tupac.
Yeah, dog, that industry close. You know, I could tell you many of girls that's married to rappers, that been with rappers, with this one and that one, that I used to put in the cab every morning at 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? From Puff House. So they all do the same chicks, man. Your girl Superhead put that in a book. They all do the same chick.
Tupac was engaged to Kidada Jones, and for those who remember their relationship, it didn't exactly start off smoothly. Before they grew close, Tupac had criticized Kidada's father, Quincy Jones, in an interview, commenting on his interracial relationships and having mixed-race children. Kidada's sister, Rashida Jones, slammed Tupac in an article, calling out his lack of respect for their father and questioning his moral compass. Months later, Kidada and Tupac met at a nightclub. When Tupac approached her, thinking she was Rashida, to apologize for his previous comments, Kidada, instead of being upset, fell in love with him, and Tupac fell for her too. Unfortunately, Kidada's father didn't initially approve of their relationship, but according to Kidada, he eventually came around. Kidada even wrote about Tupac's final hours in her father's autobiography, revealing that Tupac was the love of her life. The two had been living together for 4 months before he was tragically killed in Las Vegas in 1996. Kidada described that night as the most horrible experience of her life. She was in their hotel room when she received the devastating call about Tupac. When she arrived at the hospital, she was handed Tupac's blood-stained clothes and told that he had lost all blood pressure upon arrival. In the autobiography, Kidada wrote about being by his side in the hospital, saying, "Do you know I love you? Do you know we all love you?" Tupac nodded, convulsed, and then fell into a final coma. She reflected on the tragedy, saying, "I knew he should have never gone to Vegas that night. I had a horrible feeling about it. I've gone over it in my mind a million times. It wasn't supposed to happen. We weren't supposed to be there. It was the worst possible thing that could have happened." Allegedly, Diddy had a problem with this relationship between Tupac and Kidada, which might explain why he reportedly had no issue attempting to humiliate her by making her drink his urine. Diddy was also said to dislike Tupac due to the East Coast-West Coast beef. In fact, after the recent arrest of Keef D, reports have emerged claiming Diddy was terrified because of how much Keef D has been talking about Diddy's potential involvement in Tupac's death. In the past few weeks, there have also been claims that the feds working on Tupac's case are now collaborating with those investigating Diddy to see if there's a connection between the two cases. Keef D is currently the only person charged in Tupac's 1996 murder, but based on new reports, things may soon change. Diddy has been heavily implicated and named 77 times in documents submitted by prosecutors in their opposition to Keef D's bail request. An unnamed insider revealed that federal authorities have been gathering details from Las Vegas prosecutors regarding broader allegations involving Diddy, including connections to organized crime and individuals who had motives to harm Tupac initially. Sources claimed that no one from the DA's office was going to confirm Diddy's involvement in the case, as their main priority was building a strong case against Keef D. However, with new developments, the tables seem to be turning. The federal investigators have shifted their focus to Diddy's current activities, while also accessing years of information gathered in the Tupac case. It's said that nearly 30 years of files, witness testimonies, and connections to criminal elements are now being pulled together in what is considered the most extensive investigation into Tupac's murder ever conducted. This collaboration has made it easier for the feds to access important documents, and they are aware of all the witnesses Metro investigators have spoken to over the years. Given Diddy's alleged animosity toward Tupac, it's no surprise that he may have also had a problem with Kidada, who was engaged to Tupac just months before his death. But for Diddy to allegedly want to violate her like that, it's beyond wild. What are your thoughts on Diddy's alleged treatment of Kidada? And how do you feel about him being hit with 120 new cases? Let's talk about it in the comments section below.